Hey, welcome to Let's Talk. I'm your host, George Zayas. What's going on? Glad to see you guys here tonight. Hey, man, I got a really special guest tonight. This young man that I'm going to show, that's going to come on the show tonight. I mean, this kid is incredible. He's 22 years old, entrepreneur, working with CBD. You probably have some questions about CBD oil, CBD, the product, the gummy bears or whatever. Well, tonight you're going to be able to get your answers for questions that you have. Because I had questions too. I was like, oh my God, can we take this? Is it legal? You know, is it okay to take? Well, tonight we have Christian Vergara on the show. He's gonna answer those questions for you. This is the young man right here. He has a business called Noid Botanicals. He's on the show tonight. Let me just show you a quick video of this young man, and then we'll introduce him.
Welcome to Noid Botanicals. My name is Christian Vergara and I'm the founder here. Noid Botanicals was started out of a few things. So for one, a personal success with CBD was one of the biggest drivers, and I used it personally as I was very anxious in social settings and I couldn't be myself. I would trip over my words, got very nervous. And so after trying CBD, it was almost like a weight lifted off the shoulders. This was the moment where I said, I have to get involved in this industry. This is going to change people's lives. It's changed mine, and I want to share that with people and provide them with a place where they can easily obtain it and feel comfortable and welcomed. And I wanted people to feel actually informed enough to make a decision that they felt confident in. We also wanted you to be able to shop from multiple brands at one time, and that is the beauty of Noid Botanicals. We have a slew of top US brands, about 6 right now. We will be expanding as we go, but it is a simple one-stop shopping experience which makes all the difference. We only partner with people who really take those necessary steps and show us that they meet our requirements, including third-party lab testing, showing where the hemp is grown, which is always in the US, and also being free of any harmful ingredients or additives. And we'll work together with you. We'll answer all of your questions, no matter how many you have, and we'll knock it down to find the exact product that's going to most likely make you have a positive experience with CBD. So I hope to see you guys in store or online. We'll be happy to fulfill all your CBD needs and answer any of the questions you have. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Hey, so that was Christian Vergara. I mean, this kid is incredible. I have him here. Let's welcome Christian Vergara to Let's Talk.
You, my friend, really excited to be here.
All right. So
yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear? All right, awesome.
Yep.
All right, well, welcome to Let's Talk, man. I'm really excited that you're here. I mean, 22-year-old entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, 22 years old. Most people at 22 don't know what the heck they're doing in life. Christian, tell us, how did you get into this? What made you want to be an entrepreneur? This is fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. Good question. So pretty much how it all started really was way back, actually about 3 years ago now. And this began when my father actually decided to open up a candy store. And this came pretty much after I had decided to stop going to school, because I just realized that in that environment, it wasn't where I felt I was moving my life in the direction I wanted to, in the way I wanted to.
You're talking about your college, right?
College, yes.
Okay.
And that's not across the board. You know, I say for some people, that's great. You know, college can be really good for you. But for others, it might not be the best environment for them to excel. For me, I didn't see the grade as much of an important thing to me. More, I liked seeing visual representation of my work. So for example, like even when I went to college, I did IT, I did programming, and that was something highly visual. I could see the results come out right after I wrote the line of code. So I'm always a very, visual person. I like to see my work have the result, and I like to see that result very quickly. So I within those late years of college, that there's and that there's opportunity. And really prior to those years, I had this kind of notion that, you know, if you're in business, you're a millionaire, you got to be either. I saw that, you know, you could be a regular guy and just go for it. And, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, Facebook or Uber, but it could be a company that you start, you know, from the ground up, you know. And that's when I opened my eyes. And now, you know, and that's when my dad opened up the candy store, and it was like the perfect opportunity, you know. That was the chance for me to really get into entrepreneurship, you know, because he was jumping in, he was right next to me. He's always wanted to do something entrepreneurial, and then he basically told me, hey, you're going to be my right hand man since you want to do this. This is your perfect opportunity. So I took it. And then through, you know, a couple years later, I decided to branch off on my own. You know, I took everything that I learned from Sweet Cart, which is the candy shop that my dad opened. I took every single thing I learned and applied it to my own business. And, you know, I saw a big opportunity in terms of me, you know, getting into the CBD space. Not only that there's big demand,
Well, let me
I love the fact that it
well, let
actually
me
really
ask you a
helps
question.
people.
I don't mean to interrupt
Yeah.
you. But why CBD? I mean, there's a lot of
No,
business,
please do.
especially for a young
Yep.
young man like yourself. Why CBD? Where did that come from? Was that something
Yeah.
that you had read about, or something that somebody told you about? How did that come about?
Yeah. No, great question. So essentially how I got into CBD, basically since high school days, you know, everyone, you know, starts getting into alcohol, weed, all that stuff, you know. So to be honest with you, that's how my kind of interest in terms of cannabis started, because I looked at it not just as a recreational thing,
So
right?
you were
I
smoking
looked at
pot?
cannabis.
You were smoking pot.
Yeah, that's how it all
College,
started.
college. Okay.
And believe it or not, exactly. You know, you're young, you do what you do. So,
Sure.
but the thing I really was appealed to the cannabis plant was not just for recreational purposes. You
Okay.
know, it really was for anxiety purposes. You know, I was very socially anxious. I used to be very timid, very shy, and I felt that limited me in my entire life. You know, and opportunities and friendships and relationships. I just wouldn't voice my opinion in fear that others would laugh at it or something like that.
Right.
So after starting, you know, starting my journey with cannabis, it actually really helped me out, and I realized I was caring less and less about what people thought about me, and I was feeling just like a much
Hmm.
freer,
Yeah.
better person all around.
Okay, that makes sense. Now,
Um,
you're
and then,
and I don't mean to cut you off,
mm,
Christian, but you're in an important space right now.
yeah.
This is something that across the country you see. There's legalized marijuana all over the country, and here in New
Yes,
York, they're even considering, legalizing it for recreational use. But right now, as you
yeah,
know, it's for medicinal purposes. But how does that differ
correct.
from CBD and marijuana? Like, because
Yeah,
marijuana, weed, the other name for
yeah,
it. How does that
of
differ
course.
from that? Is there a component or something different from it? And is it legal
Yeah.
to get? Is that something that you can do legally?
Yeah. Good questions. So yeah, there is a pretty large difference when you're talking about CBD products versus the products you would get from a medical marijuana dispensary. Some medical marijuana dispensaries also carry CBD dominant products, but most are mainly on the side of marijuana THC dominant products. And that's one of the biggest differences there. So marijuana and hemp are two plants under the cannabis family tree, right? They're both cannabis plants. Marijuana has a super high amount of THC, which is the psychoactive intoxicant that will make you feel those stoned, euphoric feelings, right? Um, CBD, on the other hand, is not intoxicating. That's the big difference there. Now, as I said, marijuana is high in THC, but it is low in CBD. So it's not really a good source to get CBD because you're really going to need to use a lot to get the right amount of CBD. Um, Hemp, on the other hand, is super high in CBD and super low in THC. which is the intoxicating compound, right? So it's a much better option to get the CBD from hemp because it has a lot more of it. It's more abundant into the CBD, whereas marijuana is much more THC dominant. Now, I'm not saying that either or is bad, right? So THC can be used in a lot of really good purposes, but CBD serves a really great purpose in that for people who do not want these stoned, intoxicating feelings, this serves the perfect option for you to get the therapeutic benefits without the intoxication.
You know,
And that's the biggest difference.
And thank you for explaining that. We have
Yeah.
one of the viewers, Jason Phelps, out from California.
Yeah.
He says, so weed is the
Awesome.
gateway drug for the entrepreneurship. I concur.
It could be, it could be. I never think it's a necessarily bad thing. Can it be used in a bad way? Yes, I think most things can. Most things you could take too much of and you can abuse. But it also has helped me a lot in terms of creativity and unlocking ideas and becoming more, kind of one with myself and comfortable with myself. So
is that in your into the CBD?
Both,
Okay.
CBD is a newer thing, right? So CBD it wasn't the focused on cannabinoid, right? That's why we're kind of, way more familiar with marijuana and weed and THC than we are with CBD, right? And the reason is because everyone thought, hey, the THC part is the part that we really need to focus on. That's doing most of the work. But then scientists realized that, hey, wait a minute, CBD actually has a lot of great qualities. We should take a deeper dive into this.
Okay.
And then as science went on, they saw the research. It was super promising in terms of, kids with epilepsy. It was one of the first research studies and stuff like that. So really, bad cases where people have these bad, either diseases or conditions. So after that, it became legal in 2014 and 2018 were two big bills that made hemp legal in all 50 states. So that's why it's much more accessible than marijuana.
So you jumped on the opportunity. You saw this opportunity. You seized it, and having that background from working with your dad, and your dad happens to be a personal friend of mine. I mean, someone I hold very dear. Working with him, is that what taught you to become an entrepreneur? Was this something that you, as a child, you wanted to do, and kind of you were looking at? I mean, how did that come about?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think
I've always been
kind of answered that already. I asked the same question. I'm sorry, and I apologize for
no.
But let's skip that because you kind of went over.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
okay.
Right, so the benefits of CBD is the same that you get with pot, like let's say weed, right? But you don't get the THC, which is the intoxicant part of it. Now, can you still get like and people, folks, if you have a question, listen, let me just talk to the audience. If you have a question, put it in the comments if you're curious, because I was curious, and the questions that I'm coming from is because I have curiosity. All right. From my previous background, there was no way I can use any type of controlled substance, if you will, or whatever intoxicant for my job. So that was the biggest thing. Can you use CBD and not be tested positive for a narcotic?
So great question. I get this question all the time in the store. It's a valid concern for people. Drug testing, whether it's for work, athletes, people on probation, things like that. You never know why someone's going to take a drug test, or needs to rather. There's basically three kinds of CBD products, or subdivisions of CBD products, right? So for one, you have what is called full spectrum products. Full spectrum essentially means that when they extract the CBD oil, or when they extract it and put it into a capsule, that what is contained in that product is everything that exists within the hemp plant. So that means they're not taking anything out from what already exists within the hemp plant, which includes CBD, obviously, but it does include a small amount of the THC, much less than what you would find in marijuana, where marijuana would be around 20% THC. Hemp is going to be less than 0.3% THC. So a huge difference, way less THC. But they're still a little bit in that full spectrum category. And that is an issue for people who are being drug tested, because it's not so much the CBD that could trigger a positive result, but it's more so that little bit of THC that could trigger a positive result, even though it's only a small amount. And for most people, it shouldn't, but it can. So that's why we always tell people to go to what we call either broad spectrum or CBD isolate products. And these two differ from the full spectrum in that instead of containing everything from the hemp plant, the broad spectrum contains most of everything from the hemp plant, minus one key aspect, which is THC. So they remove the THC component completely to safeguard you from failing a drug test. Now, it's still not absolute, because some drug tests don't discern between CBD and THC. So what I'm saying is some drug tests, even if you only take CBD without the THC, it may come up positive because some tests aren't advanced enough to tell the difference between the two.
Okay.
It only sees that it's a cannabinoid and it's something from cannabis, and it goes, okay, they have something from cannabis in their system. And it might even pop up as THC when it's really not. And then the last category is the isolate products, which is literally they take the extract from the hemp plant and they isolate the CBD component, and nothing else is there. And when I say nothing else, there's over 400 compounds in the hemp plant, and they're all natural, and they all have their own kind of thing, or reason, or purpose, rather. And my first recommendation, and what works typically best, is full spectrum, right? But if you have those concerns, then we have to go for broad or isolate. So it really starts at the full spectrum for anyone who comes into the store. Then I say, hey, do you have those concerns? If so, we go to broad spectrum or isolate. If not, we stay at full spectrum, because it usually works a lot better.
Okay, so you carry all these products in your store?
Yes. We want to give people options,
Great. Okay, and then I started reading up a little bit about you, and you're 22 years old, which I find really fascinating.
Thank you.
I saw you have also products for pets, CBD pets. Now, explain to me a little bit about CBD for pets, because I think that's a little bit strange. That's something that pets need, or is that something that is just marketing purposes?
Yeah, another great question from you. So, and I have some right here just to show you. I kind of had some products just to kind of get you guys kind of familiar with what they are. So, for example, these are Edibites, and these are treats, just like any other kind of treat, except they're already pre-made with CBD, right? So these guys, for example, have 3 milligrams of CBD in each treat.
I'm not worried if my dog is high. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
My cat is jumping off the wall. I think I need to give him some CBD. Calm down.
Yeah, a lot of Absolutely.
So, I kind of like the fact that that they carry pets, because some pets, you come over to the house and they're humping on your leg or whatever. You want that happen.
Super hyper.
Is that something that would calm down a pet?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the biggest reasons people are using it. Super hyperactive pets, right? And the idea is not so much to sedate them, right? Because CBD is not a sedative. By nature, it shouldn't really make you tired. What it really does is help out your body's natural composition, and it helps out your natural chemistry, so you feel more relaxed. It alters a couple chemicals.
Endorphins, that it releases endorphins into the blood, kind of like when you feel when you're working out and stuff. Is that what it is?
Very close, almost endorphins. They're known as endocannabinoids, and basically, these are compounds that are very similar to those found in the cannabis plant, which is remarkable because they exist within our bodies, right? So that's something that it's pretty crazy to think about. We have the same.
This is what you're saying.
Very similar chemicals.
Okay.
Very similar, not the exact same.
Okay. So now what you're saying is, okay, so let's say I'm kind of maybe a depressed, nervous person. Is that if I produce more of that chemical, I won't be nervous or depressed? But if I don't have that ability to produce that, if I take CBD oil or CBD, what is it, topical?
Or capsules or
capsules. Okay. Would that create that kind of missing component in my body to create that kind of euphoric or happy feeling? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so it's really the way CBD works is by telling your body to not break down two chemicals, right? Or break them down less at the very least. And that's AG2 and anandamide. And again, these are naturally made by your body, but some of us are deficient in those chemicals,
Right.
right? Some of us are inflamed. Some of us are depressed day in, day out. There's anxiety. So many different things. And a lot of the research shows that this stems from things like mostly inflammation generalized throughout the body, that most of these conditions are caused by that. Like I said, CBD prevents the breakdown of AG2 and anandamide, and these two chemicals are commonly known as the bliss molecules, and that is because they also are released when you meditate, and they're also released in human breast milk. So a lot of people think it's the reason why babies are actually more relaxed after they get breastfed is
Ah,
because the anandamide and the AG2 calms them down, soothes their body, their central nervous system is calmed down, your immune system is strengthened and boosted, and you just feel naturally better. And that's something that applies to dogs too, because they have the same receptors that we do. It actually applies to all mammals. All mammals have the
so,
receptors.
so there's
Yeah.
chewables, and I think you had some other products that you want to show us back there. Is that I saw some other?
Yeah, I got some here for you. So some different ways to take CBD.
Yeah.
Um,
How you said you mentioned capsule. We talked about a topical
yeah,
cream. Like I said, topical. I mean, there is a topical cream, isn't there?
yes,
And then
absolutely. That's one of the
what
most
other is
popular.
it injectable? What other things can you smoke this stuff? How does that work?
Yeah, great question, my man. So yes, all the above, really. And the ways of consuming CBD are only growing by the day. So,
Right.
for example, there's drinks coming out. There's things even like makeup with CBD coming out. Now, you have to be careful. You have to kind of analyze: is it worth having CBD in this product? Is that actually going to benefit me that it has CBD in it, right? So, the other day I saw a CBD pillow.
A
That's
CBD
supposedly
pillow.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's more
And
of a
then
marketing thing because what are you doing? Like,
exactly, exactly. And something like that, they're just really trying to jump on the CBD bandwagon and not
right.
trying to actually give you that benefit. So something like that, you got to go, hey, that's just how could that ever work? It doesn't enter your body. It doesn't. It's just not practical. So the ways are growing, but you have to be careful in terms of what you believe and stuff. Um, Anyways, I want to get into some ways that these companies are the most popular ways that these companies are producing it and people are consuming it. For one, the oil is the most popular. Everybody's probably seen these guys, and I'll open one up just for you to see. Um, and this comes in oil form. Comes in a little bottle like this,
Okay.
usually. Can be bigger, can be smaller, but generally a little bottle like this. And it is basically an oil, just as you would think of like olive oil or something like that, vegetable oil. It's an oil, just like that.
You rub it off
But
or you ingest that? How does that work?
mhm, yeah, so typically it's ingested. Sublingually is the ingestion method, which means that you place it underneath the tongue. And then it gets absorbed through mucous membranes down there. And 20 minutes to 1 hour later, you're feeling calm, collected, and overall, your health should be in better standing, and you should feel just more centered and balanced. And this is the most popular way to take CBD, by the way, currently. That is through the oils.
Which
Um,
form that you have there?
yep. So other forms. So actually, I don't have the capsules here right now, but capsules are generally just like any other capsule, different in that it's filled with CBD powder or oil. Same idea as the oil here, but now you're changing it up in that you're now swallowing a capsule. The thing there is that you have to account for the digestion time that it's going to take. So an oil works within 20 minutes to 1 hour because it goes to the bloodstream through those mucous membranes of the tongue, like I said. But when you ingest something, you have to wait for it to break down and get digested. So those take anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours. And that, 1 hour best case, 3 hour worst case. And that is the same with gummies. Gummies take 1 to 3 hours to kick in because it has to digest. And another thing to keep in mind with gummies or capsules is what we call bioavailability, which basically means how much CBD is making it into your bloodstream. Now with the oil, it's a pretty high amount. We're talking about more than 50% is actually being consumed by your body, is actually being activated. Now with something like a gummy or capsule, you're unfortunately losing more CBD to your digestive system, to your gut. Because it's processed, a lot of the CBD is broken down. So now you're talking about a bioavailability rate between 10 to maybe 30% on the high end. So that means if you take 100 milligrams of CBD in a gummy form, you're only going to be really getting 10 to 30 milligrams activating in your system, whereas an oil would be around 50, 60 milligrams. 50 or 60 milligrams actually working for you. So it's a big difference there. And that means the oil is more cost effective usually for people, and that's another reason why it's super popular.
Now I understand there's also a topical way of doing that. Is this the topical way? Does that have the same benefits, and does that go into the bloodstream quicker than even the sublingual one?
Yeah. Topicals are super popular. I mean, they've been really growing in like the past 1 or 2 years, because people realize that we do have also cannabinoid receptors on our skin. So throughout our skin, we have these receptors. Now, it is much different than the oil, capsules, or gummies because this guy doesn't make it to your bloodstream. All right, so the topicals are only meant to penetrate skin and muscle, right? But it's not meant to penetrate all the way down into the bloodstream, which is a good thing for people who, again, want to get or have to get drug tested, but still want to use a full spectrum product for the most benefit. They could still use a topical, and most likely 99.99%, there's not going to be an issue because it doesn't go into the bloodstream. But what this provides is a very quick relief and a very on-the-spot relief, right? So with an oil, when you ingest it, it gets distributed throughout the entire body. So yes, it does help out your entire body. But if you have a specific point, let's say a knee, a back, a shoulder, a neck, that's really bugging you and you want quick relief, then the topical is probably going to provide you the quickest relief and the most targeted relief that you're going to get.
How long does that take to kick in, would you say?
Yeah, and the creams are really quick. Whereas the oils are 20 minutes, these guys are 5-10 minutes. You're starting to feel very, very nice. The swelling or inflammation should go down, and as well as any kind of pain associated should go down, and mobility should go up. If you're not able to move things or stuff like that, you should generally feel more able to move that body part without pain or discomfort.
Well, this is really great for athletes and somebody that may be starting off to working out and feel a little sore and they want to get rid of that soreness. This is a great way to kind of get that, that's awesome. And how often do you have people like, what would you say is like the average age of a customer that comes in to get something like that cream?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, for sure. My target customers and the customers that have been most popular on the customer kind of target has been mostly over 45 and mostly women actually. Not 99% women, but somewhere around like 65 or 70% women. Reason is women tend to take care of themselves more often, right? And they think about these things more. They think about taking care of themselves. They think about, their pedicures and manicures and pampering themselves and staying healthy. And us guys, a lot of times we just, hey, we'll deal with it later, or we don't think about it as much. We don't think about, all these different things and taking care of ourselves, personal care in that way. And when you think about it, when do you get the aches and pains? Usually it's with older age, and that's not something to rag on, older people. It's just is what it is. The wear and tear on your body, it'll come over years and years, and then it'll get to a point where you go, okay, I'm not gonna just take this anymore. I'm not 20 years old and could just run it off anymore, Right. So that's the big market.
But can in your age group, I mean, this could benefit, like young athletes in your age group as well. I mean, you got, young 20 somethings that, maybe training hard for whatever sport you're involved in. And that could be including, women. So how do you market that to somebody that age? How do you make them become customers and use CBD in that because I see a lot of benefits from that. I mean, in fact, I contacted you earlier today.
Yes.
And I actually purchased some
Yes.
product from you because of that, because I have some issues, I have
Thank you.
some pains.
For sure. Yeah. I
you
get
know,
it, man.
I'm in my mid years, and I
Yeah.
think it's important. I don't want to feel that pain, so I'm
Of
like,
course.
okay, let me go check it out. And I contacted you, and I'm really, really
hmm
happy that I did. But how can you market this to younger people?
Yeah. 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 So younger people is definitely obviously not the highlight of the demographic. It's less of the demographic. But the thing is, young people do have a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. So
Right.
that's
Right.
the big pull for young people. Obviously, even myself
Especially
included.
now. I mean, look what's going on now, Christian. I mean, just the fact that we're dealing with COVID and people out of work. I mean, this has got to be something for younger people to be kind of
Yeah.
freaking out a little bit over. I mean, I would think so. Is
Yeah.
that, because I know that now
Yeah.
your place of business is also right now temporarily shut, but you do business online, which is great.
Yes.
I think that's a great business model. So how does
Yeah.
that, does that help somebody like
hmm
yourself to deal with,
Yeah.
hey, listen, I can't open the store, but would
hmm
that help somebody like that to have that anxiety?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Like I said, the younger demographic has been a little harder to reach. But I have a couple of reasons I can pinpoint that to, right? For one, obviously when you're younger, you feel the pains less, you feel the things less,
Sure.
so it's not as like dire to go get something to help it, right? And a lot of times younger kids, the misconception they have about CBD is that it's like fake weed, or like it's not the real stuff, they don't realize that it's actually an entirely different cannabinoid that serves a different purpose,
Sure.
and it's not supposed to get you stoned or have a good time, but it's really meant for that anxiety. It's really meant for that therapeutic purpose, right?
Which
And
really,
so
that's
I think,
what they want,
mhm,
though. Isn't that what they want? Maybe to feel kind of relaxed. Maybe you have a little anxiety, you want to feel relaxed, so you go light up a joint. But the thing is that I don't know if they really want the THC part.
mhm,
Do they? I don't know. I never smoke weed, so I don't know.
yeah, yeah. No, THC can really add to anxiety a lot of times. So a lot of times, what happens is young people, they think, oh, I'm gonna go smoke pot and that'll chill me out. But then they smoke or eat an edible or whatever, and they go, whoa, I am more anxious right now. I don't know what to do. I feel like I gotta go to the hospital or something.
Okay.
So THC is not always a great option, especially for anxiety. It can induce it, actually. It can induce paranoia. It can induce all these kind of feelings. Not always, it can. Um, whereas CBD doesn't do that. It actually is kind of the anti of that. So let's say even if you were to take an edible and you took, too many milligrams or whatever, or you smoked too much and you're just going crazy, you could take CBD and that would actually lessen those effects. Um, but yeah, for some reason, I also the other thing I think prevents young people is the price point at the current moment, and it is working its way down as hemp becomes more abundant, right, in supply. But it's still a tad bit more of an expensive product, right? It's something that costs money, good money, especially a high quality product.
Got it.
You get what you pay for, especially in this industry. You really get what you pay for. So I think a lot of kids don't have as much free money and capital, to buy this stuff as
Got it.
some older, people have had years to save up do. um, but the most popular thing with young people has been the flower here, which we recently started carrying, and this is just like, it looks just like marijuana flower. And I'll show you there, but it is completely legal in all 50 states, where some states have state level laws, but federally it's legal because it's hemp. And what that means is if you were to test this right now, it would test below 0.3% THC. And as long as it actually tests below that level, it's considered hemp and you're good to go. You can have this in your car, you could be smoking this on the street, whatever. And a cop could come up to you and ask you about it, and he could even confiscate it and go test it at worst case. But at worst case, the test would come back showing that it's actually not a marijuana product, and therefore, you wouldn't get in trouble. But obviously, it's hard to discern. So police
Does that
officers
have
do
the
have
same,
trouble.
but does it have the same smell as
Mhm.
marijuana plant?
basically the chemical structure is very different.
Got it.
But obviously, you're not able to tell that through the naked eye or just seeing it or
Sure.
smelling it. You know,
You would
yeah,
have to actually do like a test on it,
a test.
a field sobriety test or whatever they call that thing. Uh,
Yeah, a lab test. Really, you would have to go send it out to a lab
And, they
and
even
break down.
have these kits.
Mm,
They have small kits where you can actually test right on the field.
right, right.
Do have that.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. 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 I got you. Yep. Yep.
And
Hmm.
now farms are springing up all over New York State with hemp growers.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, man.
prevalent and how much of a how 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 prosperous can you be if you were to open up one of these things? Is that something that that can turn into a business, or is that just they kind of supply companies that you deal with and that you kind of sell?
Yeah. In terms of farming, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, farming's a huge industry. I mean, if you have the capital and the area to get into it, that's great. Something did happen last year, which was pretty atrocious for farmers, which was that there was too much hemp actually being grown because a lot of the farmers saw this opportunity and they said, "Whoa, I can grow hemp, and it's federally legal, and it's much more, available to people than medical marijuana." And I could grow. The thing about it too is that you don't really need pesticides. You could add them if you wanted to for extra protection, but you don't need them because the plant by itself actually draws away insects and stuff. So you can really grow it pretty. It's not the easiest thing, but pretty easily in comparison to a lot of other plants. So unfortunately, what happened last year is there was too much, and what happened is a lot of people, couldn't sell their hemp, or they're just sitting with thousands of pounds. So there is a risk there. You risk the kind of supply and demand curve. Is there enough demand to sell all the hemp that you grew this year, or is there not? That's not decided by you. That's decided by the consumers.
Sure. Wouldn't that
So
drive
that's
the
the
price
risk
down a
there.
little bit though? Wouldn't that drive the price down of the hemp a little bit?
Yeah, and it did, over the last year. It's really come down a pretty significant amount, and I imagine it's going to keep doing so. And that's good for the consumer. And we always pass that on to the consumer. Anytime we get savings from our manufacturer, we pass it on. But it's tough for those farmers.
Sure.
Unfortunately, they're either throwing away plants or burning them, and it's tough for them some years. It's yeah.
Well, I know they
Something.
use hemp also for to make hemp clothes now, and I see it
Yeah,
being used as insulation for homes. I see
yeah,
all kinds of different uses. In fact, I think I've even seen them manufacturing hemp for car parts.
yes,
I've seen that, which is it's just
yeah,
incredible, remarkable.
yeah.
Um,
Very versatile.
yeah,
Very
it's a
versatile plant.
product. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so now that we're in COVID, and I can see
Hmm.
you and I, we have COVID hair right now.
Yeah, yeah. Can't do nothing about it.
We can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
Donald Trump is not easing up on the barbers, so we just
yeah.
be
No,
patient
it's
and wait
not.
till till we get our
Yeah,
barbers.
that's
Okay,
it,
so
man.
now, so you're not open. Your place of business is not open. It's not considered an essential business like a liquor store, which I think it's kind of. I think your product should be also, especially now more than ever, because I think people are
Hmm.
a little anxiety. They're having anxiety because of not being at work, maybe because of no
Yeah,
social, con.
yeah.
Um,
Big time.
yeah, I mean, so how do people get this product now that
Hmm.
your place of business and is closed? How do they get that?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we closed. We wanted to be part of the kind of stop the spread whole movement. I didn't want to expose any customers, as well as myself or my family or my customers' families, to any sort of germs and obviously the coronavirus. So we tried to be part of that and closed up. I recently did try to apply to be an essential business. They actually told me, "Hey, look, you can stay open for deliveries, but not yet. You're not able to fully open." So unfortunately, there's that. I tried. Apparently, they don't see CBD as a necessary thing, although medical marijuana dispensaries were deemed essential. But anyways, how to get products now is through either shipping or delivery, and that depends where you live. Delivery, we can do anyone within 20 miles radius. We do same day delivery, and we we do that free.
Okay.
Shipping is I really try to make it the least friction.
You're breaking
Are
up
we
a little,
lagging?
but I heard the word free, so I like free. So
Okay.
you deliver within 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you said you deliver also. It's free.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, free shipping. So for anyone outside the 20-mile radius that still wants to get our products, you can order, even a $10 product and get free shipping on it.
Wow.
Um,
Remarkable.
I Yeah, and I really try to, make the least friction for people to go ahead and start their journey with CBD. So, in the beginning, I didn't have free shipping, but I decided that I would like to do it because I think people love free first of all, but giving people a couple dollars off, it could be the thing that makes them go, okay, I'll go for it, and it's free shipping. And then they start something that really helps them in life. It helps them feel better. It helps them feel happier, healthier. So we'll take the little hit. We'll take the hit on the profit, because we know that in the end we have the confidence in the products that you're going to keep coming back, and you're
Sure.
going to love it, and that's that.
Okay. Why don't you
So
tell us where your business is located, so that way, when COVID
yeah.
is over, that we can go visit
Yeah.
your shop and say hello and see the different products. Because I know you have, in the
For sure.
video that I played earlier. I mean, that's your business. I mean, it was remarkable. You had all kinds of CBD products. Where are you located?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're located right in my hometown, Wayne River, New York, and that's out on Long Island. If you guys are ever out here, way out east, near Riverhead, and we are in the shops at Eastwind, which is a small, quaint little new shopping village. Very, very nice. We're very happy to call it our home, and that's in fact the place where Sweet Cart is, my dad's candy store that I talked about before. And it was just really the right fit for us. It has a modern aesthetic. It's very clean and upkept, and CBD is modern, and CBD is professional, and something that should be in a clean space and feel fresh. So the address is 5768 New York 25A, and we are Suite V3. And yeah, you can visit us. Usually we're open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. But obviously it's changed now because of coronavirus. But we'll obviously be posting to our Facebook and stuff
Okay, so but people
about the
can go
hours.
online and kind of go to Noid Botanicals and kind of see, and they can order right from online.
Yeah. So if they go to noidbotanicals.com, that's NOID botanicals.com. They can, pretty much explore the website. We also do have a Find My CBD assistant, which actually you answer a few questions and then actually personally recommends a few products for you based on what you said. So my thing is really trying to make it as easy for a person to decide on the CBD product and to find something and actually work.
Okay.
So if if Instagram, email us anyway, don't hesitate.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, but let me bring up the website so that way people can see it.
Okay.
And there
Yeah.
it is. There's your website, the beautiful website, and you have all kinds of products here. So
Oh, thank you.
you even have a learn section, CBD 101 and CBD news. So if I went to this and I clicked on this, would that tell me? I mean, you kind of covered over every question that I had, which I think was fascinating the way you broke it down.
Mhm.
Is this on this website? Can we see every product that you carry in the store?
Nearly. There's a couple that I have either like special order, and there's only a few of them, so I don't really want to put them on the website because they'll be gone before it's even worth it. But about 95% of the inventory is there, if not more. Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah, for
amazing.
sure.
So I have that in the show notes. So if anybody wants to go, you can click on that, and
Yeah,
I'll put that in the chat for anybody that wants to order
awesome.
any products of CBD. Now, would it be wise
Mhm.
for them to get a consultation first on which product is best for them, or is it something that you kind of just basically you just kind of pick from the menu there of different
Mhm.
products?
Yeah, No, I think it's really nice to get in contact with us, because we can help you really pinpoint which product's going to work for you. And that's, when I implemented the Find My CBD Assistant on the website, the idea was to really try and help people out, even without having to live chat with somebody. But where I think there's no kind of replacing a human interaction, someone talking to another person. And although the Find My CBD Assistant works, it can be really good to talk to myself. Usually is the one who answers, and just I can really ask you a few questions about what the drug testing concerns. What kind of flavor profiles do you like? Do you like something tasty or something more natural flavor? Do you not mind that? So all these different questions can kind of come together for me to go, okay, this, based on what I've seen from my other customers and my research and my anecdotal experience, I can then go, okay, here's what I think would work best for you because A, B, and C. So I think consultations are really, really cool, and I'm definitely gonna try and implement more ways to connect with customers and not lose them before they lose interest or don't know what to do.
Well, I got to say, from personal experience, I was very happy with today the way you handled me when I called, and you guided me to the right CBD that I should be taking, because I told you I have pain in my knee, and
Yeah,
I really appreciate that you kind of
yeah,
steered me to the right product, and you told me why, and I felt very
of
comfortable
course.
making that transaction and making the decision that I did based on what you told me. So I want to thank you for that.
Awesome.
Now, your products, where are they most
Yeah, of course, man.
grown? Where are they mostly grown? Are these products from out of the United States, or are these homegrown from the United States?
Yeah. Yeah. So really, we try to get all U.S. based companies. We're not trying to get anything from out of the country because a lot of times the regulations are looser, and you can get second-rate CBD that's not the best, right? So most of our products are derived from hemp grown in Colorado. That's the most popular spot to grow hemp or cannabis for that reason. So most of our products are using Colorado grown hemp, a few from Kentucky. Kentucky is another big hemp state as well. Lots of farmland out there. As well as there's in California, we have another company, and even we have a company in Florida, but they do source from Colorado. So a lot of these guys are just going to where they know hemp, which is California. Also Oregon, we have one company from Oregon, another big cannabis state. So these are all states that they know what they're doing because it's been legal for years, and they can just transition that education and knowledge to hemp and CBD.
Now,
So yeah, that's the most popular
different
places.
flavor or whatever grade based on where you get it? Because I mean, like in wine, like in California, and I know there's a lot of wine, growers of grapes and wines and stuff out there. I mean,
Yeah,
is there a difference between California and, let's say, you mentioned Kentucky? Is there a difference
yeah,
in that? And is there a price
yeah.
difference also?
hmm Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's a price difference, but that's probably more so affecting the manufacturers than you. I mean, obviously it affects the price points, but they have to deal with the fluctuation in prices between growers and stuff. Can the quality differ? For sure. As we know, like plants are very adaptive, so they adapt to their environment. They change based on the conditions and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily to say that you're going to get the best stuff from California or the best stuff from Colorado. I think you could probably find, things that are very strains and hemp that is very on par with each other in all of these states. They're just going to look different. They're going to smell different. They're going to be different strains and different, kind of subtypes, right? So the strains are different. So for example, we have a lifter strain, and we have an Electra strain, and we have a Suver Haze strain that we carry in a flower option. And the differences between those is the effects that you want to feel. So for one is a daytime strain, one is a nighttime strain, and this has to do with how the terpenes posed in the plant. So terpenes are what give a plant a smell. So for example, pine needles or citrus, and even in citrus peels, there's limonene, which is a terpene. also found in cannabis. Now, what happens when you actually grow cannabis plants? It results in different kind of terpenes being present, and based on which terpenes are present, it alters the effects. So, for example, limonene is really great for anxiety and depression, while something like, let's say, linalool, which is the lavender scented one, is more for pain relief and things like that. So that's the biggest difference there. Strains is the biggest difference, biggest differential between effects. Besides that, you should be able to find high quality hemp in each of these places. You really should.
All right, so I put up the your website, I put up your Instagram, and I think you have a Twitter as well, and Facebook. So it's all
we pretty much try to hit it all.
Okay, so they can
all the same across the board. Yep.
Okay, they can. Okay, great. That's fantastic. All right, now I think we pretty much covered everything about the what you do, and I mean your knowledge is just vast. Very impressed. I'm very, very impressed with the knowledge that you've shed for us here tonight. And I'm definitely going to try the product. I think I'm pretty much sold on the benefits of it. I've read a little bit about it. Now, I wanted to ask one last question, or maybe it'll lead on to other questions. People that have had maybe chemo have dealt with that kind of stuff. We didn't cover that. Is that something that might benefit somebody for that type of for that type of condition? Maybe if they have cancer and they're recovering or something. Can CBD be used for that as well?
Yeah. So one thing I'll say off the bat, the FDA actually is very strict or are very stringent on not allowing CBD retailers or producers to make health claims, right? So basically what I'm saying is I am not claiming that CBD is the cure or a treatment to cancer, right? And I would never, claim that unless studies were to come out, right, and say that. But what I will tell you is they've done studies and they've done experiments with CBD as well as THC and cancer cells and things like that.
The studies are out there. You can Google this stuff and find, if you do a little research, you can find that there are benefits for people that are going maybe through chemo and radiation.
For sure. And there has been evidence to show that it does vastly improve the effectiveness of the chemotherapy. And actually, there were experiments dating back to the 80s, THC, put them next to astrocytoma cells, which are brain cancer cells, and the cells were dying by suicide, which is the best way possible. And it was not affecting the healthy cells. So where radiation actually kills every cell, no matter healthy or non-healthy, the cannabis was helping the patients actually get rid of the radical cells, the cancerous cells, but keep their healthy cells. And it also was showing to improve the radiation therapy and the also the symptoms they feel from the radiation therapy. They go through terrible bouts of depression and terrible bouts of pain and just various things. So it helps with the symptoms that stem from the radiation, as well as potentially assisting the radiation therapy and making it more effective.
All right, my last question, because you've covered pretty much. After I use CBD, am I going to get the munchies?
Good question. Yeah. No, generally not. Even people, a lot of people have even been looking at it to actually reduce their appetite and actually kind of lose weight. Is it a weight loss pill or something? No, I'm not going to say that, but can have potential to balance your system out to make you not feel so hungry at all times and just kind of make your system all kind of balanced out. Yeah, it could. And it could kind of even curb your appetite. But generally, you shouldn't really feel the munchies. That comes more from THC more than anything, So, not so much a concern there. Yeah.
Well, Christian, I'm really just admiring you at your age with the knowledge that you have and the the stuff that you've put, your business that you've put together. I'm really impressed. And I'd like to thank you for being here on Let's Talk this evening. And for you watching,
Of
Um,
course.
I hope that you guys enjoyed you enjoyed watching Chris tonight, and that maybe this may have served you to maybe get some curiosity out, and also to just kind of look at the young people that are out there. A lot of people talk about the millennials, and this young man right here, being a millennial himself, he has that entrepreneur mindset. He has a great business. He has a great vision, and you see that in his business. So you want to go into check out noidbotanicals.com, talk to Christian Vergara, and he'll guide you through the best product for you. We want to thank you again,
Absolutely.
Christian, for being here tonight, man. We really do appreciate you for stopping by on Let's Talk.
Of course. No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'm always excited to share knowledge with people. And, this is, more people that know about CBD now and have a clearer picture about what it is. So that's something I appreciate you being open to and having me on.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. We got to get the information out there for people that might be curious, and I think this might be helping a lot of people. So, thanks once again, Christian Vergara,
Of course.
joining us here. And this has been Let's Talk. We appreciate you guys. See you next Saturday, this Saturday actually, when we have another episode of Let's Talk, and we'll have some more people for you. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everybody.
Take care.